sacrifice is at hand, and cannot see the future ramifications at stake. We must bury them. We must trample the past underfoot, and move onward to a brighter tomorrow.
What's that sound? Hopefully her attacks didn't just get stronger.
I won't stop.
See, while I understand about Edelgard's thing about moving on from the past and creating a brighter tomorrow, slaughtering millions of innocents isn't the way to do it. It's just, I suppose now that we finally are approaching her, I guess I can just say this. She came so close! So close to being sympathetic for me. So close. And then that scene happened. That talk with Dimitri. And then just, that's like, she was this close to making me actually sympathize with her. And then she just had to go ahead and do that. She just had to go ahead and, oh, okay. Oh, okay, so no more range attacks, but now you're an actual threat. Got it. That actually kind of makes me happy. Because I didn't want her to be, like, yeah, if she kept up that kind of attack power right up until the final boss fight, that would have been really disappointing, so I'm glad that didn't happen. I've got to get rid of those ballistas. How do I do that? Stupid fly-proof walls. So I can get rid of this one, but then Mr. Warmaster up there attacks with a Brave Axe, which is probably not good. At least he doesn't have the Lancebreaker. I could rescue, but that robs me of potentially dancing. Anyway, I guess what I was saying is just like, I almost felt bad for her. I almost did. And then she had to go ahead and, like that's the thing. Never in any work of fiction that I've seen have I ever seen a character who was not an outright black and white villain who just loves slaughter for the lols. Oh crap. I forgot you had desperation. I'm in Vantage. That was on me. See, this is why going on tangents can be a problem. Completely forgot you had that.
I'll cut through.
However, does Vantage help you when I am attacking you at 3 range with Thoron? No, it does not. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Just, I've never seen anyone, like,
I fight.
When asked that question, was it all worth it? Like, was all this death really worth it? I've never seen any character who wasn't just, again, a straight-up pure evil villain who loves killing people for the lols, answer that question with, yes. Yes, it was worth it, and I wouldn't do it any other way.
No way I can lose.
And with that, I was just like, I'm sorry, Edelgard. You almost had my sympathy. You were this close. This close! And then she had to go and say that. Like, the hard part is, like, I like her idea of a world without crest discrimination. I like what she's trying to do, but
I'd be honest.
To think for a moment that starting a war that will cause this much innocent death will ever be the way to do that. It does make me think though, like, what could she have seen?
Ready when you are.
What kind of experiences has she had to make her think that the world as it is in this universe is so bad that this is the lesser of two evils? Okay, hold it. I'm gonna back things up for a second, because I'm sure people are gonna get on my case about that statement. In the moment, I didn't do a very good job of articulating my thoughts there, so just let me explain. Yes, I know Edelgard was experimented on. Yes, I know she's seen a lot of horrors. No, I am not denying that there is a lot of messed up stuff in Fodlan, because yeah, of course there is. Here's the thing though, and let me stress this is entirely personal, and I doubt many other people share the same views here, but I feel that Edelgard is blaming the world and the system for the actions of individuals. The way I personally see things is that there will always be people in the world who choose to do bad things. And changing the underlying system of power is not going to magically stop that. If not crests, then the people in power are going to find some other excuse to abuse people. They always do. So while Edelgard is right to be angry at a lot of the injustices in the world, I feel like she's directing this anger at the wrong sources. Even Rhea, as we'll find out later, her motives are very individualistic. And again, I stress this is entirely a personal opinion, feel like Edelgard is falling into the trap that a lot of JRPG villains do, of saying, there are horrible things in the world, ergo the entire world is rotten to the core and must be burned down and rebuilt from the ashes. Like, at this point, the only way, like, I could even slightly see myself maybe possibly sympathizing with her is if Rhea turned out to be, like... Basically, here's the thing. Rhea would have to be so utterly monstrously evil that it would defy comprehension for me to ever think Edelgard's methods are okay at this point. Like, Rhea would have to be really, really that bad. And I don't know, at this point, I don't know if Rhea is. I don't deny that Rhea probably has skeletons in her closet. I feel like Rhea probably is hiding stuff, and I'm sure Rhea has a very bad dark side to her.
Onward.
But I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's as black and white as Edelgard thinks it is. I feel like she and Edelgard are the two most morally grey characters in the game, at least like the two that lean closest towards like downright like dark morality. But I still feel like no matter how you feel about Rhea, no matter how you feel about the current world, it just doesn't justify. And even like eradicating the Alliance, what did they have to do with the Church or with Rhea? Like, if anything, Claude's goals kind of prove that Edelgard's methods aren't necessary, because from what I can tell, Claude's goal of an ideal world is very similar to hers, and he manages to do it without as much bloodshed from what I can tell. And it just got me wondering something, and yeah, I'm so sorry about all this. It's just, I know there are people out there who probably like Edelgard. There are people out there who are probably going to tell me, play her route before you judge her. I just feel like I don't think I'd enjoy her route at this point. I really, really don't. I just feel like there's just, again, like, the only way I could even see that working is if Rhea was, like, the most ridiculously evil person in the history of evil people. Like, if Rhea was, like, 1 billion times worse than Ashnard. And I don't really see that happening. But anyway, yeah, I'm so sorry about all that. I know I probably, you know, Edelgard fans have probably jumped ship on this playthrough after chapter 12, honestly, by this point. It's kind of funny because as of recording this, I'm just thinking what do I do? Like, as of recording this, I've only just uploaded chapter 7, so I'm way ahead. I can't even begin to say how far in the future I'm going to be by the time I actually get to uploading this video, so I've got no idea. It's kind of interesting. Like, that September Nintendo Direct just happened. As of now, and we have a remaster of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which is kind of interesting. I guess I'll talk about my plans. We already talked about my plans for the channel. Your Nuncross face is blocking my attacks. Anyway. I mean, I should have dismounted Hilda, but oh well. I've probably already talked about those by now. You know what? I may as well just have Ash grab the chests while I'm here. But it's just, what I was saying is that... Oh, it's kind of weird, but... Edelgard is one of the very few fictional characters that has actually succeeded in making me legitimately angry. Like, and the only other character who's ever done that is Henry, and Henry's case wasn't even intentional. So that should just kind of say something. Okay, is there any way I can get to that ballista guy now? I don't think so. I'm not going to W anyway, I may as well dismount. Yeah, there's more, I don't know. It's like, I said it all the way back in chapter 12, in that, like, the fact that she actually has good intentions and actually legitimately believes that this is the right way to creating an ideal, peaceful world, in a way, just, like, makes it feel even worse. Like, at least Ashnod. Like, Ashnod was, you know, gleefully evil and loving it. Like, he is a self-admitted monster who just doesn't really, like, who even, like, laughs in the face of his Camus character and just says, ha, like, you are an idiot to trust me. Like, I killed my father, I killed everyone in line for the throne. Like, if you seriously trust me, like, if you're still loyal to me at this point, you are the biggest moron alive.
Thanks.
And I guess with that, I can kind of go into something as well. I say all that, and I will also just admit something. I think that this game is probably the most realistic depiction of a war I've ever seen in Fire Emblem. Like, Hubert, for example. Hubert, I think, if you are going to consider him the Camus of this group, he's probably one of the best Camus characters in the series, because he definitely does have reasons for being so loyal to Edelgard. Again, I don't entirely think that he's in love with her, although I think that can happen if you get them into an A support. But I do feel like... no. I do feel like he's completely committed to her cause and her ideology. And, you know, it's not a case of someone being blatantly loyal to a very obviously evil king who just wants to destroy the world. You can tell that Hubert is someone who greatly respects Edelgard's ideology and admires her, and, yeah, would do anything for her. And, yeah, like, it feels a lot more logical than a lot of other Camus characters in the series. Okay, I guess it's finally time. Yeah, I get the feeling that this boss is going to be pretty pathetic after all I've gone through. I do have Mercedes ready for healing. And Cyril doesn't get two-shotted, which is good. Of course, I could go for Gambits, but they're barely going to do anything. How about a point-blank volley with Feanord? Yeah, will I be able to heal all of this off plus the 10 damage from Feanord? I mean, I could always rescue with Flame. Oh, no boss point at all. Wow. Twin Crest power makes me honestly wonder if it would be possible for Lysithea to become something like this. Considering how ridiculous Lysithea is, I wouldn't actually put it past them. Why is her armor, like, looking like it's broken? It says no risk of armor break. I mean, I'm sure this will be a special boss quote.
Facing you, I grow weak.
I know that she doesn't, like, her song, it says that she doesn't... Okay, gotta remember she has Vantage now. Like, that she doesn't want to do this. That's basically the whole point of her song. And I do feel like that she could be classed as what TV... Well, not TV tropes, as, like, the general definition of anti-villain. In that an anti-villain is someone who doesn't want to do villainous things, but they do those things because they align with their goals. Whereas an anti-hero is the exact opposite, someone who doesn't want to be a hero, but does heroic things because they align with...
beyond all recognition. That is what lies at the end of the ideals you serve so diligently. I have no pity for one such as you.
I'm sorry, but I think Dimitri and I are on the same page right now.
If that is the future you hoped for, then you deserve no compassion.
Okay, good thing you didn't crit, because that would have been really bad. One health bar down instantly. I feel like this is probably a lot better of a fight on hard mode, actually. Health bar 3! You now have Desperation! Of course, you're not going to double anyone, so I doubt that's going to help, but I do need to really be careful of Wrath. Still think there just had to have been a better way. She should have seen that. She should have been, like, and I think that's what, not to be preachy or philosophical or anything, but I kind of feel like that's what true strength is. That thing about Persona that I was talking about, I was kind of thinking about this lately, and it kind of just got me realizing something. That whole thing about comparing Dimitri to Persona might actually not be as much of a joke as I thought at the time. Oh, I'm out of Fortify. Okay. Well, if I do heal Cyril, I think Cyril will probably be okay. Her stats aren't going up as she goes through health bars, are they? They're not. But, like, if Edelgard is Shin Megami Tensei Chaos, Claude is Shin Megami Tensei Neutral, and he seems to be like, okay, guys, knock it off, I'm going to beat some sense into you until you see reason. Rhea is... Again, I can't really say what Rhea is right now. Maybe Shin Megami Tensei lore, I don't know. There are some people who are thinking that Dimitri is like... If Dimitri was a Shin Megami Tensei lore character, that he'd actually be a rare example of a decently sympathetic Shin Megami Tensei lore Holy crap, wow. Okay. Don't exactly want to do that just yet. But if I do that, she might actually go down to the counterattack. But then she gains Wrath, so maybe I should think before giving her Wrath. But to me, I actually do feel like Dimitri's philosophy best summarizes the philosophy of Persona, and that's maybe why I like him so much. Dimitri has been through very dark times, and he's come out stronger for it. It's only fitting Edelgard get at least one crit in on Dimitri. I'm annoyed she hasn't never cut in, though. Don't crit. Cyril, please. Oh, wow, Cyril's gonna take out a health bar. Nice job, Cyril. I guess Claudia's here in spirit. We've got now Myron using Failnaught with riding a wyvern. But she has Wrath now, so we gotta watch out for that. But yeah, he's been through some very dark times and has come out stronger for it. He's conquered the darkness inside him, and he believes that if humanity conquers their own collective darkness, then they can form a bright future for themselves, regardless of who leads them, regardless of ideology or philosophy, and yeah, that's probably the side that I would be the most inclined to take here. Okay, I've got to be very careful how I do this, because weirdly enough, Dedue could end up being the hero here. Okay. His first double strike will knock her down to just barely not Wrath. Of course, even if she did get in Wrath, she only does 1 damage to him. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm dragging this out, you know, even... Can I get Hilda in on the action? I can try. But yeah, there's like, you know, I shouldn't be dragging this out too long. This is unfortunately kind of an easy fight. This game seems to be pretty easy on the lower diff. Oh, I can't get Hilda in there. Unless... How far is my rescue range?
Onward.
I still don't think I can get Hilda.
Shall we?
No, I can just barely get into Edelgard's range, but... Oh, I feel like Hilda hasn't really done enough this chapter, but...
At your service.
Is my life to be lost?
If Dimitri lands the final blow, though, it'd be kind of fitting. Could do it with a Gambit as well. Actually, that would be the most Persona thing
What's
ever.
my strategy?
How much does Sublime Heaven do? Not that. Okay, I have a plan.
I am prepared.
Dedue is going to be the hero we all deserve. Because, yeah, like, okay, hopefully I got this right, but this first barrage is actually going to just barely not put her in Wrath. Yep, she's just out of Wrath. Nope! Master Shield to the very end. Whereas I kind of feel like Hubert's more like Edelgard's sword than a shield. Okay. Oh, she just doesn't have enough for me to get her with that. Is there any way? No, that does too much.
Let's go.
Longbow? Nope.
Ready when you are.
I really want to beat her with Dimitri's Gambit. That would be fantastic. Actually, this is fitting.
We'll lend you a hand. Now's our chance.
That was also fitting. Albeit a little bit unnecessary. Oh yeah, attracted your attention, huh? Wilted flower. I guess that fits with your root name. Attracted your attention, huh? Well, yeah, this'll get your attention.
I'm by your side.
Don't let them retreat. Edelgard, it is over.
And that, yeah, I shouldn't have expected much more from that scene. I like how there wasn't any dialogue in that at all. It really said all that it needed to, just with the character's actions there. I know that Byleth can probably help Edelgard be a better person on her route, but on this one, she died how she lived, refusing the peaceful path even when it stared her in the face. And now, let's see how this all ends.
A rising flame was alight as the flow of time carved a new history for Fodlan. The long reign of the Adrestian Empire finally met its end when the imperial capital, the city of Enbar, collapsed. After 5.5 years of war, a new age was set to begin. With Fodlan united as the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, Archbishop Rhea, still weak from her imprisonment, stepped down from her position. The Church of Seiros began to take the needed steps to reorganize. Prince Dimitri formally ascended the throne, beginning his reign as the king of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, which now included former Alliance and Imperial territories. Texts from the time claim that the one who guided the king as he sought to create a world free from oppression became the new Archbishop of the Church of Seiros.
Well, I guess we don't even meet Rhea, like, at all after the final battle. This is the S support, isn't it?
Hey, Professor. What are you doing daydreaming in a place like this?
Just before this happens, can I just say, that is kind of weird. It's just like, oh, by the way, we rescued Rhea. She was weakened from her imprisonment and she stepped down. Like, huh? Okay. Yeah. I guess Rhea's kinda irrelevant post-time skip on this route. I guess we have to play the Church Ordeer routes to learn more about her then. And also, yeah, you don't even get a chance to get higher supports with her on this route at all. So, yeah, that's interesting. But anyway, here's the point that I've kind of been waiting for. Please let this be good.
I was doing the same thing, but still. I've been thinking, Professor. I worked hard to make it this far. All I wanted was to enjoy life, but so much for that. I had to go and become diligent, and it's entirely your fault. Yes, you believed in me even when I told you not to. When I failed, you encouraged me. You kept looking out for me. Being treated like that, well, it made me want to try harder. I've gone to such lengths for you, you know. What a pain. Ha! Does that mean I'm off the hook now? I guess it doesn't matter because peace is here. No more hard work. Let's celebrate. Aw, what? I thought the fighting was over. Does this mean what I think it means? Wow, if I accept, we'll be depending on each other for the rest of our lives. Your life's gonna be hard. You wanna lay that burden on me too? Here I thought I was free as a bird again. Don't you think this is a bit much? You're doing it again, overestimating me. And yet, I have no choice but to accept. It's all your fault again. This time, for making me fall in love with you. I do have one condition, however.
You get to help set out the right picture books? Because honestly, I think that would be pretty nice.
Don't go thinking you can keep expecting things from me. A girl's gotta draw a line in the sand somewhere. From now on, I'm only going to do the things I want to do.
Well, good thing you're ridiculously good at everything that you want to do.
So, say if I want to support you for the rest of our lives, I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll do the best I can. As for you, you had better keep taking care of me too. Got it? Well then, now that all of that is settled, I happily accept. Thank you for watching over me and believing in me. Let's keep doing that for each other for the rest of our lives.
She actually looks like a dancer in that shot. Even though she probably wouldn't be great as one because her magic's not amazing. That's a weird thing to be focusing on right now, I know. Oh, I guess we have the... Oh, battle data. So I guess that, air support was... I'd say it's about 75% decent. I like most of it. She did kind of relapse a little bit into that, but it was pretty good overall. I now need to kind of write fanfiction to... I can't believe it's me writing fanfiction, but I kind of want to write what Byleth's side of that conversation was. Because I have a bit of headcanons as to how Byleth feels towards her. And no, they don't involve Blilda, thankfully. But, yeah. Oh wow, it even shows the paralogs too. Hey, Cyril got an MVP. So yeah, that's the end of the Blue Lions route, and as of now I probably revealed this already, but I will be doing the church route blind, and at the time that I upload this video, I probably already recorded all of it. I probably long since recorded all of it. So yeah, it's a bit surreal knowing that at the time you're seeing this, I'll know what the real deal is with Rhea, what's really going on with those who stood in the dark and all that. But yeah, I feel like that combined with this route might give me a pretty decent look at just the whole story. One day I'll come back to this game to do, a full sort of walkthrough style series of the Golden Deer. I'll probably wait for that one, wait until more info on the game is out. I don't want to, you know how some people would say, oh, you know, cash in on the game, do walkthroughs while it's still new. No, I'd rather wait, and wait until I can research it more. Holy crap, Dimitri, seriously. Look at Hilda! Seriously, you tell me not to expect much from you, and then you just appear on the MVPs again and again and again, almost as much as... I feel like Dimitri could probably solo the game quite well, if it weren't for his massive mage weakness. I think we're about to see paired endings too, so I guess I'll have to suspend my thoughts to talk about that. But yeah, Blue Lions, I sum up the route as a much more nuanced version of the standard Fire Emblem plot, and there's nothing wrong with that. I used to think Path of Radiance was the best written standard Fire Emblem plot in the series. Now, yeah, I don't think that anymore. This game's overtaken it. Hanneman's goal remained unwavering, to determine the workings of the Crest and to do away with the inequality caused them. Apparently, because of that philosophy, he actually would have joined the Empire if I hadn't recruited him on this route, and he would have been the really annoying bolting mage that we fought in that paralog. So I'm glad, yeah, glad that didn't happen. I'm pretty sure very few people would see that because Hanneman's very easy to recruit. And he can be recruited on any route. Oh, hi, Fire Emblem theme. Ally of the Archbishop. But which Archbishop are we talking about here? Yeah, see, that's why... Ugh. You know, Edelgard's crusade against everyone in the church. There are people in the church who easily could have still... Anyway. Oh, they basically became Ike and Soren. Guardian of Xanadu. Okay. Huh. The life of quiet seclusion. Okay, I guess we'll find out more about Xanadu, because obviously that whole opening movie is not going to make sense until the church or deer route. It is a bit weird they show you that opening movie on all routes, despite it only being relevant on a few of them. But anyway. The edgy, dark, spiky shield of Fargus. Mystical songstress. Divine songstress! Yeah, that's what I was hoping would happen in their paired ending. They would revitalize the opera company. That's a pretty nice paired ending. Okay, hopefully this one's good. Okay, so Baron Dominic's alive. That's fine. That's pretty much what I expected from their paired ending. Bloomed overachiever. Okay, so Didu outlives Dimitri. Interesting. Hopefully Dimitri still lived a decent life. Okay, this one I'm slightly worried about, but we'll see how it goes. They both... okay, my headcanon is that was like a stealth lesson, but Cyril passed so well they both just vanished from time and space due to rolling like a 50 on the stealth check. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's actually semi-platonic as well, which I guess is probably a good thing. Okay, this better be good. Sylvain and Mercedes got married and had lots of crest babies, the end. Yep, they get married. First one that explicitly says a marriage, too. Hey, no second Miklan. Oh, please be good. If this is platonic after all I did. Okay, that seems like... Oh, okay. That's interesting, so it's ambiguously romantic. That's kind of cool how some of these, also Arrow of Justice is awesome. But yeah, it's left up to your interpretation. But this one's obviously not left up to interpretation. Okay, that one's kind of nice. I've heard that Dimitri's paired with Marianne is amazing, though. Slumbering Princess, huh? And, of course, these two. Guardian of Order. Hey, it's Order and Chaos united! That's actually kind of cool. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's pretty great. But I like to think that she also helped Sedith write children's books, and that Sedith and her kind of become, I don't know, like sort of like surrogate siblings in a way, because Sedith said to Byleth that they're like family, and I feel like with the connection to Rhea later on, please don't be a lyrical song, I'm gonna have to cut it out if it is. But yeah, due to that, my headcanon is sort of that Seteth and Flayn, and Dimitri, and so, basically, Byleth, Hilda, Flayn, Dimitri, and Seteth are all kind of, treat each other like family at this point.
Reach for my hand.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this out, aren't I? I'm gonna have to replace this song, because I don't want to... I'm worried about the Wrath of Being Ink. I guess... Okay. I want to listen to this, but I don't want to have a big section of no commentary. So I think I'll post-commentate over this part when the time comes. And for now, I'll just listen to the lyrics. One thing I will say, though, is I like that they've separated the credits from the paired endings this time. This was something that I wish they did back in Awakening and Fates, because I like talking about the paired endings, but I also like to give my final thoughts on series over the credits. Okay, so I'll give my full thoughts on the project a bit later, when it's back to original commentary me, but hello, post-commentary me here. Just a couple of things that I want to say. I guess, looking back, one downside of doing a blind run is that sometimes I had a few attempts at jokes that, due to me recording so far in advance, at the time I wouldn't have known how the comments would react to them. And thus, I wouldn't know when you would think a joke was overused or not. A lot of people got on my case for that, especially early in the post-time skip where I kept calling Dimitri an edgelord. Here's the thing though, part of a blind run is you get to see my live thoughts on things as they happen and how they change. And you can probably tell that I quickly dropped that when I started to see the direction Dimitri's arc later went in. It only lasted for the first few chapters of the time skip. I also don't want to get too negative here, but I've noticed there was quite a bit of backlash against the fact that I even made jokes at all. I think it does really say something about how well regarded this game's story is, that people are just so adamant that you take it seriously. I guess making jokes worked better in Fates, where that was a story that nobody took seriously from the very beginning. But this is just how I approach games and just works of media in general. I do tend to snark about things. That's just the kind of person that I am. And this is just, again, how I naturally react to things the first time. And I'm usually pretty good about keeping things serious when I need to. In fact, I even cut out a few of my comments at points when I felt that they were way too mood whiplashy. So there's that. There's also the fact that some people were annoyed that I went out of my way to spare the students when possible. But I'm not going to intentionally kill people I don't have to just to make the story more tragic. The story's tragic enough as it is, and I find it quite fun to try and spare as many people as possible. And in particular, I don't know if this is the popular opinion, I really enjoyed Chapter 17. Chapter 17 was one of my favourites of this entire game. Now, I'm gonna stop now, because live commentary me noticed something kind of funny about now. Okay, Rhea/Seros. Well, that credits just spoiled it. I'm gonna avoid looking at the rest of the credits just in case there are other spoilers. I'd already kind of figured it out, but... Oh, Nemesis has a voice actor listed, I just caught a glimpse of that. So that all being said, I've really enjoyed all your comments over the course of this series. In fact, I've even enjoyed all of the debates over Edelgard. People made some really good points in both directions, and I really like that. It's great and a testament to the game's writing that she's sparked debate for all the right reasons, as opposed to characters in some other Fire Emblem games that I won't name. So with that, soon the song will be over and it'll be time for live commentary me from September to take over. So, back to him. Wait, what? Oh, Lambert was another character, right. Death Knight / I thought, like, Yuritsa had a different name. I'm just gonna look away from the credits right now, just in case I see any more spoilers, but, like, that's seriously, that's like a Birth by Sleep credits level of credit spoiler there. Rhea / Seros. Because of course. Again, I kind of guessed it in advance by that point, but... Hi there, ball music. Yeah, I can finally put real music back on. So, can I just say, like, while we're on the subject of voice actors, can we all just give it up for Chris Hackney as Dimitri? Just... That was just... wow. Just... I can't... Like, that performance was so amazing. Especially on this route. Because that's just one thing I feel like, yeah, people could say that Edelgard is depicted pretty badly on this route in a way, but on this route, you get to see both the best and worst of Dimitri. And that's something that I feel Edelgard's route's probably going to lack, because I think it just depicts her as entirely in the right the whole time. Anyway, that's enough on that. So, I've probably talked a little bit in post-commentary on the credits here, so I'm not really sure what post-commentary me said, but this has been really, really fun. I mean, it was freaking long. I thought that everyone was exaggerating, like all the journalists were exaggerating when they said that the game would be 80 hours for one route. I was like, nah, there's no way it could be that long. Oh wait, it actually was. So, yeah, like, I've already mentioned this, but in case you haven't seen the updates, the church route will be only main story chapters and paralogs that I didn't see on this route. So no monastery, no supports, that's all. So, yeah. Speaking of supports, I am very glad that apparently you can buy S supports that you've unlocked, like from A's with other characters on New Game Plus runs with Renown, because otherwise you'd have to redo the final 2 chapters every time you wanted to reset for a new S support for the library, which would be really annoying. So, glad that's not the case. I did notice a lot of Chinese names in the credits here. I knew that Koei Tecmo was known for the sort of Romance of the Three Kingdoms adaptations, but I didn't realize that a lot of them were actually based in China. That's interesting. So, yeah, overall, this game... Oh, great, there's an Adachi in the credits. This game... Oh, Mario Club, they're in, like, the credits of everything, like, every Nintendo game. Yeah, I will say, so far, best story in the series. But, gameplay-wise, I do think Conquest is better. I don't think the gameplay in this game is as bad. I'm not saying that people are saying this game's gameplay is bad, but I have heard people say that it's not amazing. I sort of disagree. I do think the gameplay is far from the worst in the series. I'd put it at above average. I'd probably put it as... You know what? Okay, here's how I describe the gameplay. If Awakening's gameplay was actually good. That's kind of how I describe it. Because... it does get ludicrously easy on the lower difficulties. It is very easy to get overpowered and overleveled. But despite that, you're not invincible. You saw it in a lot of the later battles. There's still very much a chance of your main characters dying. People can still die, and although really it only happens to mages. Maybe they just made mages too powerful. But, yeah. Like, that's kind of how I described it. Like, in terms of map design, the only map so far that really sticks out to me as not great is Cornelia's map. And that's because there's all those giant, titans and all the robots and stuff. But you don't need to fight any of them. Cornelia is in the middle of the map, and it's very easy to just rush straight to her, whack her on the head, and bang, chapter over. So... I just feel like that could have all been solved if they had put her all the way up at the top of the map instead of in the middle. I'm making hand gestures while I do this, but, yeah. Oh, by the way, here's some, credit details you might not see, because I'm playing the Australian version. They generally don't credit the European localizations in the American credits, but anyway. So yeah, that map, not the best. I still feel like the battle at Gronda Field, they should have had some branching dialogue depending on how much you killed in that battle. Like, I had kind of an idea for the Blue Lions route. Like, if this was the only route, I had an idea for how a route split could work. it would depend on how many named characters you killed at Grande Field. If you killed like 0 to 1 and only really fought Edelgard and Claude, then the story plays out exactly how it does in the final game. Rodrigue sacrifices himself, Dimitri gets over his hatred, he redeems himself, and everything is fine. But if you actually follow Dimitri's advice and kill every last one of them, then the story branches. Dimitri does not get over his hatred, he completely loses himself to blind revenge. This is where Annette and Felix leave you out of disgust and you have to fight them later. Maybe Dimitri even kills Rodrigue himself accidentally in a fit of rage and doesn't care, and that's the point where he crosses the moral event horizon. And then most of the rest of the chapters play out similarly, just with Dimitri a lot more brutal, but the final battle ends with Dimitri and Edelgard mutually killing each other. Because I do feel like there are some people who might not be able to forgive Dimitri after all he's done, and an extra route split like that might have given them some vindication, because from what I've heard, even though you do get to kill Dimitri on Edelgard's route, bit of a dark note to have the end on, even though you get to kill Dimitri on Edelgard's route, he's actually weirdly not crazy revenge-obsessed Dimitri there. So, anyway. But those are most of my thoughts. I'll probably do a full my thoughts on the Blue Lions story video later. Or do I even need to? Maybe I can go into one final thing. This is weird music to be being negative on, but I don't like the Death Knight from a story standpoint. I was worried that Byleth and Geralt would be Ike and Grail ripoffs, but no. I was surprised, they're quite different. The Death Knight, however, he's very much just a cash-in on the Black Knight's popularity. He just, I don't like him very much at all. Even his death scene is so abrupt and short if you fulfill the criteria to unlock it. Him being Emil doesn't really add anything to the story is the other problem. Him being Yuritsa doesn't really add anything to the story. Back at the beginning when I was like, oh, obviously it can't be Yuritsa, that's a red herring, right? That was partly wishful thinking because Yuritsa barely did anything up until that point. So like, take the Black Knight reveal, for example. The character who turned out to be the Black Knight, I'll still avoid spoilers here even though everyone probably knows already, does do a lot in the story before being revealed as the Black Knight. And the Black Knight being that character actually means something for the overall plot. The reveal of a mysterious masked villain's identity doesn't really mean anything if the character behind the mask is irrelevant in the grand scheme of the plot, and if you barely knew them before they were revealed to be said masked villain. So those are my 2 cents on the Death Knight. Other than that, I do think, despite all the flack I give Edelgard, definitely the best written Hardened/Emperor archetype in the whole series. Like, that was great. Like, the fact that you actually grow up with the character who later becomes essentially the big bad on this route, it's kind of cool. And yeah, I guess one more thing that I can say, there are apparently some people who consider Dimitri to be Byleth's implied love interest on this route, quote unquote. I don't really see that. Like, I feel like Dimitri and Byleth's relationship makes sense romantically or platonically, no matter how you choose to interpret it. It's like how I see Crom and Robin in Awakening. There's so many people who say, oh, obviously they have so much romantic subtext during the main story. By so many people, I mean 90% of the fandom. I'm a bit weird there, but I never saw anything but platonic in their interactions during the main story. That's kind of how I see this. I see Byleth more as Dimitri's, like, his war advisor, really, but also like a best friend who helps him down this path. But I'm not totally opposed to female Byleth and Dimitri either. Whereas with Edelgard, it's very obvious she has feelings for him, pretty much regardless of what route you're on, or her. So, yeah, those are really all my thoughts to just get out of the way now. I really, really enjoyed this project. I know this has been a freaking long one. If you stuck with me this long, I'm sorry for putting you through such a long project. I mean, this is kind of a record for a blind run. This is why I don't do Persona games blind, by the way, because they would be even worse than this. Yeah, people asked me if I do Persona Q2 blind, and I was like, nope. My first playthrough of Q1 clocked in at 100 hours. I'm not putting myself through that. But anyway, I almost put myself through that here. Oh, one other thing that I can leave on, though. The characters in this game. Yeah, I probably they have actually surpassed Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn's characters to me. So, yeah, with that, we end the Blue Lions route. Byleth and Hilda writes children's books with Byleth at her side. Dimitri and Flayn rule over Fargus. Sedith is angry at first, but they're all a happy family eventually. I like to think that Ash and Ingrid got together. It was kind of cool their paired ending was ambiguous, though. Like, if you want to interpret them as platonic, you can. Same with Cyril and Shamir. Manuela and Dorothea made an opera about all of this. I like to think Dorothea played Edelgard in that opera, as dark as that sounds. I wonder who would play Dimitri, actually. Who else? Well, one day, Linhardt defused into Lynn and Reinhardt, and Caspar was very shocked, but then decided they preferred living as Linhardt and fused back together again, and they lived happily ever after, as Linhardt. Anyone else whose headcanon I'm missing? I don't want to talk about what happened to Blilda, because if I did, the world would probably implode. But maybe she and the Gatekeeper went on an adventure together. And, okay, this is probably going to sound cheesy and stupid, but as weird as it sounds, I like to think that when Dimitri finally passed away, like, he met Edelgard in the afterlife, and they kind of reconciled. But that's probably wishful thinking on my part. So, yeah, I'm obviously very attached to this story if I have all of those headcanons. And with that, I will leave you, but that is not the end of the story of Three Houses, because there was another path where Byleth did something different. And on that path, Byleth found out some other things about what was really going on. Of course, he already knew that Rhea was Seros because the credits spoiled him. And on that note, I leave you. This is Big Clinky, signing off.